According to BNN Bloomberg, 66% homes sold below asking price in the month of April. This is the highest discounting rate for that month over a decade. Supply is climbing, demand is cooling, and the power is now being shifted to the buyers. Whether you're in Toronto, Pickering, Whitby, Oshawa, the message is very clear. The market is now shifting. My name is Harpreet Singh, a former financial advisor turned into real estate agent helping home buyers navigate real estate market in Durham and close by areas. You can book a 15 minutes call with me with the link in the description below. So in this video, I'm going to break down what is really happening in the GTA market. Who has the leverage right now, and what steps a buyer or a seller should take to navigate this changing real estate market. But before we start, let's look at the numbers from April of 2025. GTA home prices are down 4.1% compared to last year April. New listings are up to nearly 18,000, which is 8.1% more than last year of April. And this is where it gets interesting. The home sales are down by 23%. Last year, for the same month of April, we had 7,300 sales, and this year we only had 5,600 sales. Not just that, the active listings are also rising, up over 54% compared to last year April. That means listings are now sitting for longer time on the market, and that's why those active listings are staying and increasing that percentage, which in a simpler terms mean that it's taking longer for sellers to sell those properties, which clearly indicates now that the inventory is rising, buyers are being more selective and have an option to be more selective as well, and it's taking longer for sellers to sell their homes. And this is why we are saying that market has already shifting, and this isn't just a seasonal shift in the market, it is a full-blown shift. So in real estate, the months of inventory is a key indicator of how the market is going to behave. And it also signals what are the ongoing market conditions in your neighborhood. So pretty much month of inventory means how long it's going to take someone to sell their house at their current listing price. For example, low inventory favors sellers, high inventory favors buyer, and a medium range inventory is called the balanced market. So in the city of Toronto, the rule of thumb is 4 months. If the inventory is for more than 4 months, you're in the buyer's market. If it's at 4 months, you're more so around the balanced market. And if it's less than 4 months of inventory, you're kind of looking towards the seller market conditions. So what does seller market mean? Seller market means sellers have more power, they can demand the conditions, they can demand the price, and there is more competition in the market. Balanced market is some of the properties are sitting on the market for longer period. Some properties which are on the lower end of the price point are selling quickly, but it's a balanced behavior on both seller and buyer side. But when it comes to buyer's market, buyers have more control, they have more options, and that's why it also impacts the seller's selling price. In Toronto, we are hovering around 4.4 months of inventory, and in Durham, we are hovering around 2.7 months of inventory. That means in Toronto, we have already shifted towards the buyer's market, and also comes down to the type of property you're buying. Condos, they have over 8 months of inventory, which is a strong buyer's market. But if you're buying a smaller property like a townhouse or a semi, there is still higher competition in there, and the market is still much more balanced. However, when you're looking at detached property prices, which are over $1 million, you're gonna see the market has shifted towards buyers. And that's why multiple offers are fading away. There are more negotiation and equal amount of negotiation happening on both sides. And overpricing your property to sell in this market could be a costly mistake.
Well, there hasn't been the usual spring to the spring housing market in the GTA. Sales in April were down by 23% over April of last year.
So what's driving this shift? Rates are not as high as they were 2 years ago, but they're still relatively high and they're pushing down on people's affordability. Second thing is there's a lot of uncertainty in the market and economy given the Trump tariff situation and how people are not feeling confident in the Canadian economy itself. And also there has been a psychology shift in buyers. The FOMO of 2021 has gone. Buyers nowadays are more patient, they're more careful, and they want to take their own time when they're looking to buy a house. They have seen amongst their family and friends who bought houses in 2022 and how they are suffering, and they don't want to be in the same situation. And that's why we are seeing more price reductions than we have ever seen in the last 4 years. Let me share how my clients are winning in this market. We bought a house in Oshawa for $957,000 just a week ago. There was a similar property that was sold for $1.1 million on the same street in the month of January of this year. That's about $150,000 less that my buyer paid for the similar type of house. Even if you look at this image, The seller actually tried to sell the house for 1.1 million and the house actually sat on the market for a month before they changed the price to 970 and we ended up buying for 957. If you look at the second property in Whitby, was listed for 994 and we bought for 962. We were the only offer on the table. We were able to get the house with financing and inspection condition and about $35,000 less than what the seller was expecting. And these two cases are not an exception. It's becoming more normal, and that's why sellers have to be realistic and buyers have to have their patience and have to have strategies which could help them find deals like this. So if you're a seller in this market, this should be your game plan. Staging your home and good pictures have become more and more important. First impression is the last impression, and I cannot stress how much it is important in this market now. Price your home based on the current market situation, not for what they were selling for 6 months ago. This will help you sell your home quicker and at a fair market value. Be flexible. This is not the market where buyers will come in on a firm offer. They will put offers with conditions like financing, inspection, and you have to be flexible as a seller in these type of situations. Also remember, if you're a seller who is upsizing, you're selling your property at discount, but you're also buying the next property at discounted rate as well. But if you're a buyer in this market, you really have to have patience. Make sure you're pre-approved, you know how much you can qualify for, and then you start looking at properties that have been sitting on the market for a longer time. This is not the time for you to go and bid on homes. This is not the time for you to compete with multiple offer situations. A lot of homes that are not selling on offer dates are coming back to the market, and that would be the right time for you to approach the seller and put an offer. So if you're pre-approved and you have your down payment ready, you will have a stronger convincing power in your hand to put a conditional offer. And this is why being prepared is really going to help you out in this market, because there are tons of deals out there. Now, what's next? If the Bank of Canada reduces their interest rate in summer, we might see some confidence in the market and more buyers coming in the market to buy homes. However, overall sentiments at this moment are very low and people are not feeling the need to go back in the market to buy homes. And on the seller side, some of the sellers who don't have to sell are also holding back to make sure the market conditions improve before they put their houses on the market. But like I said before, the power has shifted to the buyers, and if you're someone who's pre-approved, ready to buy, this could be a golden chance window for you to buy a house at a very competitive rate. So in the end, my only takeaway from this overall situation is that market can shift anytime. If you're in a buyer in the market, don't think that this situation is going to stay like this for next 6 to 8 months. If any changes in the economy happens or any new rules come out, the market can shift anytime in favor of a seller. That's why you should be in the market, go look at homes, start putting offers, and same thing for sellers. You have to be more realistic with your pricing nowadays, and you must be able to entertain offers with conditions in it. So if you find this video helpful, please make sure you subscribe and share this video with someone who also might find this helpful.